So, did anything ever happen in your career to make you think that it was sexist or that men were given more privileges than you?
Oh, yes. They hired a man to do my job in another school, and he worked half a day with me, who was a friend of a friend. That's the only reason he got the job. He did not know how to do the job. He didn't even make an effort to do the job. And he made more money than I did. And he was older than me. So, yes, and I saw a guidance counselor who could not counsel, shouldn't have had that job, go to a principal's job and ruin a new school. So, yes, I did see many inequalities in school and where I worked.
And do you think any of that has gotten better today with the knowledge of the pay gap difference between men and women's salaries still available?
Since I worked, yes, I have seen that it has gotten better. Women are getting better positions and they're getting paid the same money. I think it's because they try to let people know that they are very capable and there is no reason why they shouldn't have that job. And they fight for it and they get them. And that's what they should do.
So, first, let me ask, do you consider yourself a feminist?
Somewhat.
Can you explain that?
Well, I certainly believe that women have the right to have their own money, even if they don't work. If they're married, they should have their own money. They should have a right to have a child or not have a child if they want it. I also believe that they have the right to have an abortion if they want it. It's their body. So I don't believe in late-term abortions. I believe that if you respect men, they will respect you. I think that the men that I worked with showed me respect because I showed them respect and I did a very good job. And
That's it. Well, what do you think about the women's movement today as compared to what was going on when you were growing up?
I don't remember there being a women's movement when I was growing up. I didn't go to college. I only went to high school. And then I got married. So I really don't remember a women's movement. I remember that happening maybe 5, 10 years after I was married. And I thought some of the things they did were wrong, that they were going too far to express their opinion. I thought they could have done that in a calmer way, much more easier way to communicate with people. They made their point and they didn't want to hear anybody else's. I believe that working together to get to a place where you want to be takes more than just one person telling you what to do. I think that you have to work together as a group, and that group has to work with other groups so that you can come to a conclusion and come to something that is going to make everyone happy. I don't believe that women should stomp their feet and say this is the way it's going to be, because it's not going to be that way if you act that way. I think that there's always a way that you can work together.
Do you remember the issues they were going for?
Well, they wanted equal pay. You can tell me some so that it'll come back to my mind.
Domestic violence, birth control.
I do believe that they should have access to birth control, but I believe they should pay for it. I don't think anybody should be given anything they didn't work for if they're able to work. Violence? Oh, well, domestic violence is one of the worst crimes in this country. Women are killed every day by men, even now, because the law does not protect them, and it should protect them. A restraining warrant, it does nothing. There has to be a place for a woman to go where she feels safe, away from the man who's threatening her. but that doesn't always happen. So they're fearful of leaving the man because he will hurt someone, and a lot of times he ends up killing her.
And do you think that any of those things have gotten better today?
Maybe some, but not enough, because there are still men abusing women. All you have to do is listen to the news. And
there's still a pay gap.
There's still a pay gap, that's true, yes. I don't see that as much because I'm retired now, but I do listen to that. There shouldn't be a pay gap. If a woman does what a man does, and a man does what a woman does, they should get equal pay. There's absolutely no reason for that. If they put in more hours, if their job causes them to travel more, sometimes there will be a difference. But if it's the same, you should get the same pay.
So this has been my interview with my grandmother. I just want to say thank you.
You're so welcome. I hope I didn't mess up too much.
You didn't mess up. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some afterthoughts and conclusions from yours truly back in my own house. We have ice cream to eat, and we'll see you in a minute. So now I'm back in my own house, and just to wrap up, I had always kind of perceived my grandmother as a very strong and confident woman, and talking to her really just enforced all of those opinions I had. She has always been such a positive influence in my life, and listening to her talk just really showed me how great she really has been through her entire life, growing up, moving away, and she just showed me in her answers to my questions that she is exactly as straightforward and honest as I always thought she was. And I thought most of her answers really lined up with my own opinions about women in our time. We still struggle every day with pay gaps, and domestic violence is one of the top causes of death for women in the United States and all around the world globally. It seems that her generation gained a lot of strength in their argument and gained a lot of courage. And in that time, I think that has passed on to women now, so that the women that didn't have courage then gained it, and now we have it already, so we don't have to worry about getting the nerve up to go out there and fight for what we want. We just go ahead and do it. There's nothing holding us back, because her generation and the generations before her did that for us. They got up the nerve, they went through the struggle, they went through a lot of the pain, and now we get to do it. And I feel like there's a lot less risk for us than there were for them. And women these days, they really can just go for what they want, and we have to thank the past generations for that. So that's mostly what I learned from her, just to, so it's a big wake-up call to what they've done for us, and, thanks, Grandma. So that's really what I think, and as promised, I have some bloopers, and those will be coming up next. So before we start this video, I am doing a test video, and I already said video wrong. So what would you say is your favorite color?
My favorite color is actually pink.
Pink? Mm-hmm. And would that have anything to do with feminism? Feminism? So you mentioned your mother-in-law as a role model to you growing up. Can you explain why she was a role model?
Where is it?
It's recorded.
Oh, yeah, stop. Stop that.